In this video, we're going to take a look at a red ink by KWZ Flame Red. Now, as always, there's timestamps down below so you can skip around, but if you've got the time, I'd appreciate you checking out the entire video. Also, down in the description is a link to the red ink playlist, so if you wanted to see more of it, you can see that there. I'm an ink guy, and let's get into the first writing sample done on 90 GSM Clairfontaine. No bleeding, no ghosting. We get no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. We do get some tone variation where the extra fine's quite a bit lighter than the stub, but the medium's the same tone as the stub. Extra fine took 14 seconds to dry, while the medium took 19. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We're not getting it in the writing. And the smear test you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. To have a range of experience with this ink, all of the writing samples are done with a Jinhao 159 with a 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X450 with a medium, and a Jinhao X750 with an extra fine. Then a Jinhao 51A with a fine nib is inked up, used for a day, and used to take the notes for this video. The next writing sample is done on 52 GSM Tomoe River. No bleeding, very, very minor ghosting. We get no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. The extra fine's lighter than the stub quite a bit. The medium's just a little bit darker than the stub. Extra fine took 21 seconds to dry, while medium took 30. Scrubby for both give us no color variation. We don't get any. In the smear test, you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. I agree with Vita. There's a lot to learn by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. A line of ink is put down, and then it's put in the water for 10 to 15 seconds. And we see a very nice red that works its way from the bottom and gathers up at the top, and then a bright, bright yellow up there. Now that yellow did make me think that I would expect a bunch of shading with this ink, and we're going to have to see about that. The one on the right is let dry for 10 minutes before it's dunked in the water. And really the difference that we notice is there is a line of red that forms at the bottom, giving the idea there might be a slight bit of resistance for this ink. The next writing sample is done on 80 GSM Rhodia dot pad. No bleeding, no ghosting. We get no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. Extra fine's quite a bit lighter than the medium, than the stub, and the medium's a tad bit darker than the stub again. The extra fine took 16 seconds to dry, while medium took 22. Scrubby for both give us no color variation. We're not getting it in the writing, and a smear test, still, we could recover if we smeared while we were writing. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on a page, and more importantly, how hard it may be to clean from your pen. The smear is allowed to dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, I would not use this in a note-taking situation. That's an extreme amount of blowout after 3 days, but not surprising given the chromatography. What is surprising given the chromatography is how much is left behind on the water. A lot more has bonded with the paper, but we do see a little spot where the white of the paper is coming through. Now, it did only take water to get it out of my pen. On the pen flush, you see some blues there, which is me. I was a little sloppy with the paper towel. That's not from this ink. Pen flush is working quite a bit faster than water. I see a lot more of the white of the paper coming through there. 1/3 bleach solution, we're not going to need it, but it completely destroys this ink. The next writing sample is done on life paper. No bleeding, no ghosting. We have no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. The extra fine's lighter than the stub, while the medium's the same tone as the stub. The extra fine took 13 seconds to dry, and the medium took 18. Scrubby for both give us no color variation. We're not expecting it, and we're not getting it. And the smear test you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average viscosity is 2.5. In the realm of normals, 2.1 to 2.9. KWZ's Flame Red has a viscosity of 2.31, so it's normal. If you're interested in how the viscosity tests and all that's done, then down in the description is a link to that video. The next writing sample is done on Apica CD notebooks. No bleeding, no ghosting. We get no feather, spread, halo sheen, still no shade. The extra fine is still lighter than the stub. The medium's the same tone as the stub. The extra fine took 9 seconds to dry, and the medium took 13. Scrubby for both give us no color variation, we're not getting it, and the smear test, you could still recover if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average dry time is 17 seconds, and the realm of normal is 13 to 21 seconds. KWZ's Flame Red has an average dry time of 20 seconds, so it is still normal. The last writing sample is done on Franklin Christoph paper. We have no bleeding, no ghosting. We get no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. The extra fine's quite a bit lighter than the stub, and the medium looks quite a bit darker than the stub, at least to my eye more than the camera. I'm hoping it comes through. Extra fine took 7 seconds to dry, while the medium took 10. Scrubby for both give us no color variation. We got none, and the smear test, you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. Instead of finding inks that look like KWZ's Flame Red, I'd prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. I decided to go with a green ink, also from KWZ, their Iron Gall Green Gold. If you'd prefer a different complement color, then down in the description are links to those playlists. So what do I think of KWZ's Flame Red? It has a lot of tone variation by pen, but no shading, and I'm okay with that because it's a red. It's a good performing, very bright and obnoxious red. It does make the high feedback fine feel smoother on this toothy Lamy paper, which is a very nice thing. So what nib and pen will give the best writing experience with this ink? Given that we don't get shading, it's a matter of choosing tones, and it's not really about nib size. I'd prefer to use a very wet pen and get the much darker solid red. I hope you got something out of this video, and in the next video we're going to take a look at Diatramentis Document Blue.